This is the Spurs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Antonio Spurs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, sometimes when it's not your night, it's just simply not your night. And I think that was the case tonight for San Antonio's Silver and Black. Welcome into the Spurs POSTCAST right here on Locked On Spurs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one podcast network, sports podcast network in all of the land, because of the everydayers like yourself driving us, keeping things going. He, of course, is NBA champion Devin Brown. My name's Casey Viera. San Antonio tonight going down on the road in Phoenix, 111-102, their first loss of this road trip. Their win streak snapped, 3-game win streak snapped. First of a 4-game road trip does not go their way because of a lot of things, Mr. Devin Brown, that have plagued them throughout the season. They've just been the beneficiaries of being able to get into and out of that trouble, but it comes back to get them tonight.
Everybody, welcome. Another great episode. Casey, let's get into it.
Rough night for San Antonio.
This is what you'll be talking about.
To be honest, though, it didn't certainly feel like it was going to be a rough night, because the first half they played pretty well. They took a 7-point lead into the break. They hold Devin Booker to 3 of 11 shooting in the first half. Actually led by double digits, if I'm not mistaken, in that first half as well. Right. So we're thinking, all right, more of the same. Vibes are good. Everyone's feeling good. David Jones-Garcia did not come in and blow the doors open. So everybody else was like, all right, we're back on track. Things looking a little bit normal. We're feeling good. But then this third quarter happens, and something that was kind of commonplace and is becoming commonplace is that they struggled again. That 7-point lead that they did have would ultimately disappear.
Right.
They get outscored 37-24 in the third quarter on the back of a 17-6 run from Phoenix. Dylan Brooks stirring up a little trouble in there too. Book ultimately figures things out, and that for the most part spoke to how the rest of the game went for San Antonio. De'Aaron Fox, 26 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, shot 14 or hit 14 of his 16 free throws. Vassell, 17, Harrison Barnes, 11, Champagnie, 10 points, 12 rebounds, but also shot 3 of 14 from the field. Spurs as a whole get bit on the turnover bug. 19 turnovers compared to Phoenix's 6, really 5, because they had the team one to dribble out the clock. Not a second half that you want to feel particularly good about going into Portland on Tuesday.
Yeah, so let's talk about the first half. So a lot of positives. Suns are struggling from 3. Spurs are attacking the paint. Lots of energy from everybody. I don't know if everybody realized this, but everybody that played in that first half for San Antonio scored. So that's a big point, Casey. So because we'll get into that in the second half a little bit later on. Now, if everybody remembers November 2nd, the Spurs were -7 after the first quarter. That was different this game. San Antonio came out, played very well, okay? Couldn't sustain it, like you said, going into halftime, played well, but we're going to talk about that second half in a minute. That first half, together, make shots. All my notes here, 19 free throw attempts, shooting 44%. Casey, it was going great. It was going great. I'm not going to get into the second half yet, Casey. Go ahead. Next.
No, continue your thought, because...
Oh, you want me to continue my thought?
Yeah, because where we're going here ultimately turns into the second half. So, yes.
Well, let me grab this bad boy here. This is my third quarter. Oh baby.
Laminated and everything.
And laminated and everything. Hey, we're doing hey, big time over here. Hey, listen, the dark side came out again, Casey. The dark side. Well, tonight's dark side. Fox dribbling. Lots of dribbling.
Mm-hmm.
The technical that he got going to the bench. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into this point later on about all the Kentucky players that were out there. But it was a little something special going on with Fox and Booker. And we both get that. They're both max players, right? We'll get into that later. Keldon kept them afloat. Vassell hit 2 big threes there in that third quarter. But Phoenix opens the half on a huge run. 37 points, Casey, in the third. Suns take a 6-point lead. Now, after 3 quarters, the Suns had 3 turnovers. The Spurs were stacking them up. I think they were at 14 through three quarters. But Keldon's energy kept him alive. I mean, he's all over the place. Hits a big timely three with the shot clock running down. But let's talk about the dark side, Casey, because you and I were talking, and I said, I don't want to hammer the guy. You said he had 26 points. I don't want to hammer the guy. I'm putting my notes over here. Sorry, Casey. I'm putting my notes over there because
before you do consider hammering him, can I push the button, the animation, to emphasize the point here?
Please.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, go. Now you're good.
All right. So sometimes we get, involved in these stats. 26 points, not bad. That's what you had him for tonight?
That is.
Okay. Let me tell you something. It was an 8-point game. The Suns hit 2 big threes. They tried the little 1-2-2 zone. The three that came in from Dylan Brooks, they kind of put the game away. De'Aaron Fox's side. One-on-one, I believe it was, I think it was Goodwin or someone like that, hit a big three a couple possessions before that. Yeah. De'Aaron was guarding him. Here's my thing. I don't have any grades yet, Casey, but hey, man, listen. These games, this road trip, we talked about this. This road trip means a lot to the Spurs. The Spurs are having a great season so far right now, right? Start off 5-0, things like that. Things are going to bounce back. But here's my point, Casey. Like this road trip, some of these Spurs can pretty much solidify themselves as Spurs for life with just this road trip. That's how big this road trip is. It started tonight, and they started out great. Team basketball, things like that. But, man, that third quarter is really hurting us. I don't want to bring up the chicken nuggets again. Of course, they have some good Tex-Mex nachos there in that arena there in Phoenix. I don't know if that's what got us. But, Casey, I'm going to throw it back to you. We got to do something about that third quarter.
It's been commonplace almost at this point. And we don't have an issue talking about it because that's what Mitch Johnson's been saying, that they've lacked discipline in some of these situations. In a lot of these situations, they've just been fortunate enough to bail themselves out of it in some of these poor third quarters, blowing double-digit leads. They've been consistently doing that. So as was the case tonight, it's a lot easier to get yourself out of trouble that you found yourself into when you're in your gym. In fairness, they have gotten themselves in this trouble against pretty good teams.
Right.
And they've been able to get out of that. But again, in their gym. So I know at times they're not going to play a clean 82, obviously.
Okay.
They're going to lose games like this.
But you can run an offense, right? You can run an offense on the road and home games. You can run an offense.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not validating it. I'm not.
No, coming out of halftime, the first 4 or 5 possessions, what was that? Like it's just one-on-one dribbling. And it's not everybody. It's not everybody. But it is somebody that's made a lot of money in this league playing that way. But this go ahead, Casey. I'm sorry.
No. Let's talk about that a little bit more. Not particularly the money itself, but we have our own.
I know
that we have to our own bills that we have to pay though. But that's actually a good point as to why these things are happening. The stagnation. Let's hit on that in a little bit more on the other side, right here on the Spurs postcast on Locked on Spurs. But before we do that, like I said, we got some bills to pay. So let's talk about a few of our friends that make this program happen. All right, tonight we start with Gusto. Let's be real. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings, managing payroll spreadsheet. I would. And that's where Gusto comes in. It takes the stress out of all those things for business owners that you don't like. The payroll, benefits, HR, so you can do what you want to do. And that's run your business and support your team. What's Gusto? Well, it's an all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, fast. And so whether you're doing everything you need to do, hire, onboard, or just paying your team, Gusto helps it do it all from one place. And above all else, no hassles or hidden fees. So try it today, gusto.com at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. You get 3 months free on your first payroll, 3 months of free payroll, gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. Also, Wayfair, as we know, the holiday season, it's here. Thanksgiving's Thursday. That means it's time to get your home ready if you're hosting. Thankfully, my family's not this year, and I'm glad. But if we were, Wayfair would be the spot because they have you set up going into the Black Friday sale all the time, but especially with the Black Friday sale, it's really going to make your space shine. I guess if you're going to be hosting come Christmas time, New Year's. The best part, you're not going to have to wait because not only the Black Friday deals are happening on Black Friday, they're happening all month long with up to 70% off of everything. Sofas, spatulas, everything you need. So don't miss out on the early Black Friday deals. Head on over to wayfair.com to shop the sale for up to 70% off. WAYFAIR.com. The sale ends on December 7th. And finally, no better place to get in on the action, as we know, than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel, they have the live bets on everything from who's going to score next to the fourth quarter comebacks. Maybe not the one you wanted to look at tonight if you're a Spurs fan. Plus, you can even combine the live bets into a same-game parlay. Obviously, you win even more money. So it keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. So right now, they're giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet hits. So head on over to FanDuel.com, sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Spurs postcast rolling on here on Locked On Spurs. As always, thank you for hanging out with us on a Sunday night ahead of the holiday work week. We always appreciate that, Mr. NBA champion Devin Brown and myself. All right, these third quarters, these out of quarter breaks,
Right.
like you said, stagnation on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of dribbling, a lot of things that you don't particularly look for when you're trying to run an offense. Why does something like this happen consistently? Recurring issue. Why does this happen?
You know, obviously in every locker room, doesn't matter the team, you want to get off to a great start. It's preached. You know, usually at halftime, coaches will say what they have to say. And then one of the last things that's said is, hey, let's get off to a good start. All right. Especially on the road in a game like this. But for some reason that message, you know, it's not going. And then, you know, obviously it's wearing on Mitch. He called a couple of timeouts today that caught my eye there, Casey. I want to get back to my point about the dark side. And
okay. I really wish we had an animation for this. I mean, maybe I'll work on it for next time. But
okay. Hey, I know we're cooking something up in the lab. We talked about that.
Locked On gives us a lot of fun things, but you know, now we really need a dark side.
That's right.
Anyways, continue.
So here's the deal. Like, so, you know, Spurs fans, why is it that this thing happens? You know, well, we get caught into not running an offense. Pop preached about that. Mitch is doing the same thing. Interesting there in the third quarter, De'Aaron got pulled out. That's what, you know, he got a technical as he was going to the bench, said the magic words. That's what I like to say. Said the magic words, things like that. And the lineup that was out there. So my question to you, Casey, I have a question for you real quick. Did Kelly Olynyk get hurt?
I have not seen anything, but since we're on the subject matter, let me double check.
Yeah, look that up. And then the other one is, how far is the Dominican Republic from Phoenix? Because we didn't see that young man either. There's a trust factor going on that Mitch fell back into hey, I've been through it. I've been through it with San Antonio. So believe me, you can have a great first half. The other team jumps on you. Next thing you know, hey, you might as well go ride the bike in the back or something because you're not getting out there on that floor. So I've seen that. So I was wondering what happened to Kelly and what happened to Jones Garcia.
Well, I'm looking right now. The Spurs did not release anything.
So just the DMP CD second half is what happened. Casey, that's what happened there. So he went with his guns. But here's the thing: he takes Fox out, and then the lineups out there. Who's the one? Vassell, Barnes, Sohan, Keldon.
I mean, that's the risk that they run right now. That's the risk that they run with McLaughlin out and as well. So I mean, you know,
so you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when the other team's on a run, and then you don't have somebody, because you saw the Spurs, their offense, everything you want to run is free throw line extended, inside that 3-point line, getting stuff going that way. When the Suns turn their pressure up, start getting deflections, start hitting a lot of loose balls, things like that, that Spurs offense was way past the 3-point line, almost to half court. That's a big difference, right? That's a big difference. So that played a big part in what it was that we saw tonight in that second half. And that's what these good NBA teams are going to do. Phoenix is like middle of the road good right now. In a couple of nights, we're going to definitely see it in Denver. And, you know, that's when you know, because you had asked me, well, how do you know that you're good? And when do you know that you're good? When you take that team's best shot, like a Denver, you know, here in a couple of days, when you take their best shot and then you come back and counter it with the run, that's when you know you're really good. That's what happened tonight. Phoenix, Phoenix was like, here we are, here we come. And the Spurs just didn't step up tonight.
Phoenix has actually played deceptively well, and you would have never guessed it. So I, you know, I'm with you. But this win tonight was that they're 10th.
They're
in their last
12th.
12 games.
Yeah.
Like, I think we all kind of.
Hey, Casey, after that, they got rid of 2 of my guys. They got rid of 2 of them, not 1, 2 of them. And then when they showed whoever this was on the sideline, I'm like, I'm not familiar with that gentleman.
Point being, sometimes, you know, the what the part's greater than the sum's greater than the part. What's the saying? To imply that.
I don't think I'm not familiar with that one.
Part's greater than some. The expression that goes to say that the stars don't 2 or 3 stars aren't particularly better than a team of balanced guys. That part's greater than some. Maybe somebody can help me out in the chat with it. But I think you bring up a good point that I think the Spurs are going to have to figure out, or at least try to figure out, while the injury woes happen. You know, you're operating under the assumption that Steph Castle is back within the next week to 10 days. Who knows with Harper? Victor, that's not even on your radar right now. And honestly, in some respects, we probably shouldn't even put Harper on that radar right now. Castle, so in that sense, you're just kind of waiting on the Castle side of things. That is something I think that this is just going to be every night, because as fun as the David Jones Garcia thing was, it's not a reasonable expectation to assume that he's going to go out there and do what he did. He's a rookie. He's never, you know, it's unfamiliar territory. So it's going to be an issue. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this real quick, because that's a great point, and I just want to piggyback off that.
Yeah.
Now, after the great night that he had, to not get your number called in the second half is going to it's going to hit you a little bit. You're like really, like you're really looking like,
right,
well, what do I really have to do? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think especially in the sense when when you're so void at that position right now, I think it's a little bit different on that front, because you saw the impact that he did have, and you're seeing the alternative, and the alternative is not looking pretty good, because Mitch is forced to play these guys out of position. So yeah, I'd assume that's a very humbling experience for sure. Yeah.
No, it is. But so the first thing I do, right, when I'm watching the game and then I see that in the second half, I go back and I go, you know what? All right, to be fair to everybody, right, the player, the coaching staff, everybody, I'm going to rewatch that first half, and I'm going to see, and I'll come back with this information for everybody. I'm going to see if there was a rotation miss, a bad shot, or I'm going to see what it was that possibly could have led to that happening in the second half. Because right now I'm going, man, that young man played well, doesn't get a shot in the second half. Something's there.
Maybe. Could just be a rookie. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not particularly sure.
No, you don't treat your rookies like that. I mean, you make them get the donut. No, you make them. Go ahead.
No. I know you about the donut story. So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, you make
Yeah.
them go get donuts from 16 different places that
Yeah.
I've never even heard of in San Antonio. All right. But that's where you treat them like that. Not playing time.
Interesting. So do you think that's kind of a learning experience on the Mitch side of things too?
No, because he's gonna look at it the way you like. He's a young player. Like, why do I have to feel a certain way about that? He hasn't earned his stripes yet.
That's fair.
I didn't. Yeah, he's as a coach. You're like, I didn't play you, but we'll move on from that. You there's some coaches have certain ways about them. Like they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Were you gonna do something that was gonna change the way Phoenix played in the second half?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just tough.
I get the feeling though our player of the game tonight is not going to be a rookie.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, what you got for me?
you always do this. I got.
How about we go with your initials? Where we go? You got
Dylan Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go Dylan Brooks. He didn't play that first game in November 2nd.
Right.
And he played tonight. Struggled early, right? Casey struggled early. But then he turned it on and just, hit some big shots, big turnaround. He was yapping at Champagny, in that second half. And I'll give it to Mr. Dylan Brooks. He played well tonight. One
of those guys you love to have on your team, hate to play against.
Yep.
Yeah. Real quick, who was that for you?
Love to have him on the team. No, I'm not saying that. Wow.
He didn't take the bait. Hey, he's a pro.
Hey, my mic's not working, Casey.
You picked a good time to have the mic on mute because we got to get out of here too. Be sure to hang out with us come Tuesday. That's when our Spurs squad show is back. Of course, the two of us and Jeff Garcia getting together Tuesday night, 9:00 to talk about all of what's on our minds with this San Antonio team. And of course, Spurs back in action on Wednesday, taking on Portland, an Emirates Cup game, a big one because that one, they're essentially in and at minimum the wild card spot.
Yeah.
So don't quote me on that, but if they win, I believe they clinch the wild card at worst. So big one coming up Wednesday night in Portland. Of course, Jeff Garcia's got you covered bright and early on your Monday for the new week with the new Locked On Spurs day-to-day pod coming up. So not a good night for San Antonio Silver and Black, but we move, as the children say. Suns winners tonight, 111-102 in the Valley of the Sun. So for my dear buddy, Mr. Devin Brown, I'm Casey Viera. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Sunday night. Have a nice week. Talk to you then.